Hey everybody, Brandon the Brony Pony of Toonverse Studios here. And as you noticed by the title, this is a video where I discuss my predictions for a potential Season 3 of Gravity Falls. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, I think for the third season of Gravity Falls, as we know from thisisnotawebsite.com, there's a thing in the coding, as we know, where it's called Season 3, Episode 1, One Sunny Day. I do believe that that is going to be the name of Episode 1 of Gravity Falls Season 3. It's going to be called One Sunny Day. And it's essentially going to be about Bill Cipher's return. And my prediction is that he's going to return, and he's going to be planning an even bigger Weirdmageddon. My headcanon name for it is Paradoxocalypse, but I don't know if Alex Search is actually going to call it that. I told him that name on Twitter. I don't think he'll respond to me, though, but, you know, it's worth a try, right? Paradoxocalypse. Let's just call it Paradoxocalypse for right now. Whatever he calls it is up to him, but... So, he's planning Paradoxocalypse, Weirdmageddon, bigger, 100 times bigger than Weirdmageddon, and Bill Cipher, or Dipper and Mabel are now 18, and Wendy is now 21, and Grunkle Stan and Grunkle Ford are close to their 80s, like right about to be in their 80s, so they're like, well, I think they're in their 60s or something. I don't know. I think they might be in their 70s or something. So, I think Grunkle Stan mentions one time that he's actually in his 70s. So, they're not actually in their 60s. They're actually in their 70s, I think. Pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I think they would be in their late 70s, because it would be 6 years later. So, it would essentially be in the year in the Gravity Falls world would be, let's see, 2013, 14, 15. So it'd be about 2016. The year 2016. It'd be the summer of 2016. Or, sorry, it'd be the summer of 2017. So it'd be 5 years later. And, yeah, and Dipper and Mabel would be 18 going on 19. They just graduated from high school. And they're actually moving to Gravity Falls, is what I headcanon. So basically, we get Season 3 and Season 4. And Season 3 takes place across the summer. And Season 4 happens around, like, fall and winter. The end of summer and fall and winter. So, and what I'm thinking is, the series could, like, end with a Christmas special where Paradoxocalypse is meant to happen on Christmas Eve. Persona 5 reference for anyone who hasn't played Persona 5. Spoilers for Persona 5, I won't get into it. But basically the last palace happens on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to spoil anything for it, though, for those who want to play Persona 5 Royal. But, basically, I think it would be nice to throw in a little Persona 5 reference there and have it take place on Christmas Eve. Or they could have it take place on New Year's, but I think it would make more sense to have it take place on Christmas, because then, once they defeat Bill Cipher, they can celebrate by, you know, celebrating Christmas. And, I think that it'll focus on, like, the summer in Season 3. And I think Season 3 will have more than 20 episodes. I think it'll have like 30 to 35 episodes. Like, maybe even like 38. Between 35 and 38 episodes. Because I think they want to stretch, they don't want to rush the series this time. So, I think they'll have like 35 to 38 episodes for Season 3. Like, I feel like it's going to be a very long season. Because I think there's going to be a lot of stuff to tell. So I think it's going to be like Season 1 and 2 combined. So it'll have like 40 episodes maybe. So it'll be like 2 seasons combined. Um, and I think that they could have episodes where like Mabel finally with the boyfriend. Maybe Dipper finally asks Wendy out, and maybe even though I like Wendy and I kind of call dibs on her, but if Dipper gets her, then so be it. But I think they would hook up Dipper and Wendy, as much as I hate to say that, because I want to ship myself with Wendy, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. But, yeah, I think as much as it would be cool to see Dipsifica happen for all the fans and stuff, there's an equal amount of people who want to see Dipper and Wendy. So, you know, I think they would hook up Dipper and Wendy because she's like the main crush that Dipper had. And cartoons always have this trope where they hook up the main male character with the main female love interest. Like, it's just a cartoon trope that they do in a bunch of different cartoons. So, I think that they would probably end up having, like, Wendy, like, realize that she's in love with Dipper after he's, like, 18 now and they're both adults now. And, I think they could have a thing where maybe, Pacifica is, like, you know, in love with Dipper, but she's jealous of him and Wendy. But Dipper tells her that he doesn't feel the same, and she gets really mad and stuff. But then I think they could have a scene where maybe Gideon comforts Pacifica, and Gideon and Pacifica end up together. I think that would be an interesting twist. And as for Mabel, I'm not sure who she could end up with. Maybe they could just create a new character that she could, you know, fall in love with and be happy with. I think that would be interesting. And then obviously Bill Cipher returns. They would have to try and stop him, defeat him once for all. But what I think they're gonna reform Bill Cipher. I think Bill Cipher is gonna actually redeem himself. Like, I think they're gonna actually redeem Bill Cipher instead of erasing him on the edge of reality. I think they're gonna probably redeem Bill Cipher. I think that would be really interesting to see them redeem Bill Cipher, because people think he's this unredeemable character, but I think deep down he does have a heart, because he has a tragic backstory. In case those who are unaware, he was ridiculed for having one eye, and he once was a good guy, but then he turned down a dark path due to being bullied. Who are other characters we know who had that same issue? Well, Starlight Glimmer became evil because she was neglected by her friend. See, other characters who were turned evil. I'm sure there's others in MLP who were like that. But, yeah, that's an example right there. So, Bill Cipher was corrupted, but that doesn't mean there's no hope for him turning back. He could potentially turn back to being good. And, as for other episodes they could do, they could have like an episode where the shapeshifter returns, and we see what happened with the shapeshifter, because we never got a resolved thing with the shapeshifter turning into Dipper, and freezing. So maybe he gets unfrozen and like we see another Dipper. I think that'd be really interesting to see. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to see. I think it would be cool to like see an episode where, you know, maybe I don't know, like see an episode with Ford and Stan bonding. That would be cool to see Ford and Stan going on an adventure or something. Like maybe Ford and Stan and Dipper and Mabel all go on an adventure. That would be pretty cool to see. I'm trying to think of other episodes they could do. Let's see. For season 3, they could have another Summerween episode, or if they want to do a Halloween episode, like an actual Halloween episode, that would be cool. Maybe they can have like an episode where some new creature comes from the woods or something, and they have to stop it on Halloween. So that'd be pretty cool. Or maybe for the Christmas special, it could be like an hour-long Christmas special. Maybe they can have Santa Claus. They can have the real Santa Claus. Maybe Dipper doesn't believe in Santa, and Mabel tries to convince him that he is real. And Dipper just thinks the science is preposterous, and then a man can't travel the world in one night. And then, lo and behold, he meets Santa. Maybe they like, that is assuming that the Christmas special is on its own thing, and Paradoxocalypse doesn't happen on Christmas Eve, and it happens like later in New Year's or something. But if they want to do a proper Christmas special, maybe they could have it to where Dipper doesn't believe in Santa Claus, and maybe he stopped believing when he was a child, when he was young, very young, and Mabel still believes in him, and Dipper tells him that to not believe in silly fantasies like that. And maybe Grunkle Stan is kind of like Scrooge McDuck, where he doesn't trust Santa or something. I know that'd be too copying of DuckTales, but that would be interesting to see, like maybe Grunkle Stan trying to tell Mabel that he doesn't exist and trying to break the news to her. But then they find out that he in fact does exist, and they make a trip to, they find out, they get like teleported to the North Pole somehow or something, and they're like, and Wendy, maybe, I don't know if Wendy would believe in Santa or not. Maybe she would, I don't know. Or maybe she wouldn't, I don't know. It's hard to say. It could go both ways. It could go either way. She could either believe in Santa, or she could not. She tries to convince Dipper to believe in Santa. Although then again, I don't know if Wendy would necessarily believe in Santa Claus. I don't know. Maybe they could have, Gideon posing as an elf or something. I don't know. That'd be interesting. Like, interesting. Or like they meet Christmas elves, and maybe the Christmas elves are the sworn enemies of the gnomes. That'll be interesting. Yeah, to incorporate the gnomes into the Christmas special. Like the Christmas elves are the sworn enemies of the gnomes, because maybe the gnomes wanted to work for Santa, but they were rejected in favor of the Christmas elves. And basically the gnomes are what make Dipper realize that Christmas elves and Santa are real. And Dipper realizes that maybe with all the weirdness in Gravity Falls, maybe Santa existing isn't too crazy. And they go and search for Santa, and they find him, and turns out Dipper is actually on the nice list, and he just never believed in Santa, but he starts to get second thoughts, and he starts to believe. And they realize the true spirit of Christmas is, being together with your family. And they head back home to the Mystery Shack, and they all sing Christmas carols. And they basically and maybe there's a scene with Dipper and Wendy under the mistletoe. Like maybe Wendy hangs a mistletoe over her and Dipper's head, and kisses him on the cheek or something. That'd be pretty sweet. And yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I think the Gravity Falls revival shouldn't just take place over the summer, especially if they're moving to Gravity Falls. I think we should get to see a glimpse into like fall and winter. I think that'd be really cool to see. I think having Paradoxocalypse happen on Christmas Eve would be interesting too, but I think Paradoxocalypse would be 100 times worse than Weirdmageddon. I think it would be like where all the realities clash. So we see a bunch of different cartoons appearing from Disney shows. Maybe it's like a bunch of different dimensions are clashing, and they have to like try to split the dimensions again. So we get to see cameos of like Star versus the Forces of Evil, Phineas and Ferb, Amphibia, Owl House, Big City Greens, Wander Over Yonder, Kim Possible, and way more, and maybe we can even see like, yeah, it would just, and maybe we see Rick and Morty as well. I don't know if it would be non-Disney shows, but I know we could definitely see Rick and Morty appear as like a little cameo. Um, you know, since Justin Roiland and Alex Hirsch used to be friends. And if they bring back Brendan Blandon, I think he wouldn't be voiced by Justin Roiland. What I think is that they would cast the new voices for Rick and Morty as Brendan Blandon, probably the new voice for Morty. I don't know if Morty and Rick are voiced by the same person in the new Rick and Morty. But I think what they would do is they would cast a new voice for Morty because of the whole allegations with Justin Roiland. I think they would use the same voice actor that plays Morty in the new seasons. That's a no-brainer. I mean, come on. That's who would have to voice Brendan Blandon. And I think they could bring back Brendan Blandon and like maybe for an episode or something, and he maybe helps with Paradoxocalypse, and maybe he helps against the fight, and you know, wants to take vengeance on Bill Cipher for killing Time Baby or something, or I don't know, maybe Time Baby was able to come back. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but I think it'd be interesting. Okay, this would be interesting actually. Seeing somehow if Giffany somehow survives, maybe like Giffany is like resurrected, and she wants to take revenge on Seuss, but like she becomes like a physical entity. Like maybe she somehow is resurrected by Bill Cipher or something, and she becomes like a physical entity, and she actually is able to like come into the real world, and it could be called something like Seuss and the Really Real Girl. It could be called Seuss and the Really Real Girl. That would be pretty interesting, like a sequel to that original episode where Giffany comes back when she's like a physical girl, like, and she actually like has her normal powers, and she can like, but like she's able to like be within the real world, and she tries to get Seuss back, and basically it could be like a battle between Giffany and Melody. I think that'd be a really interesting episode, not gonna lie. But anyway, those are basically some of my predictions for season 3 of Gravity Falls. I think if they do revive it, it would be really cool to see, and I hope it's a Disney Plus exclusive. But if they make a movie, then I think it would be about Bill Cipher's return and him getting defeated once and for all. So they could do like a movie to start off, like to like tease Bill Cipher's return, like his first revenge, but then it ends with him teasing the inevitable Paradoxocalypse or whatever it's going to be called, which will be in season 4. And then we get the series called Return to Gravity Falls. So we get season 1 and 2 of Return to Gravity Falls. Kind of like how they made Louder and Prouder. It was a new season of the original series. So they can make a Disney Plus exclusive series called Return to Gravity Falls. I think that'd be cool, and I think that would have to be what it would be called, Return to Gravity Falls. I mean, it's the name writes itself for crying out loud. Anyway, I've rambled on for about 18 minutes or so, almost 20 minutes, so I think that's about it for now, and let me know what you all think of my predictions, and if you have any predictions of your own, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll heart it. So, anyway, talk to you guys later. Brandon Boney Pony out.